I mean, do you have any ideas of what you might prioritize, or do you plan to stay in Dallas next season?
Yeah, I mean, I've already communicated with Dallas how grateful I am because they've made this a home for me for the past years, and I'm working with them together and finding a next home for me because I've already played my last game in Dallas, and I'm just excited. I'm excited for free agency. I'm ex able to talk to a lot of players outside the league because I have not played on a different team yet. And I'm excited to get to know them more on a personable level, but also knowing how they approach the game. And I just love having basketball conversations and high level IQ conversations about the game to know where I will fit best in the future.
Would you want to play with your sister?
Yeah, of course. In the future, I would love that.
All right, Satou Sabally has confirmed that she will not be returning to Dallas next season. A lot of us already kind of figured that, or at least thought that, but now it's been confirmed, and we can go ahead and talk about where she'll possibly end up next. This is something that I've talked about since the Olympic break. I believe that's when I first made the video about the fever targeting Satou. Even before that, when she made her first appearance on Podcast P, before she was even back healthy and playing, Paul George's podcast, and she was very complimentary about some of the things going on with Caitlin Clark and around the Indiana Fever franchise. And I just thought she would be a great addition. She's somebody I've had my eye on since Oregon. I definitely remember her and Sabrina beating Team USA in that scrimmage that they held, and so I've had her in high regard since then. I noticed that she's already found a new home off the court as far as Adidas is concerned. She was a sneaker free agent this summer, formerly signed a Jordan brand. She's wearing the Anthony Edwards AE1s in this photo here. So it looks as if she's found one new home. Now she just has to find another one. All right, so what will be her new basketball home? Will it be Indiana? Will it be New York with her sister, as we heard asked in this Zoom interview she had at Unrivaled? Will it be Chicago? I read an article the other day in the Sun Time about Chicago potentially trading the number 3 pick overall for Satou. I think that would be a huge mistake, personally, for a 1 year rental. There's a lot of talent at the top of the draft, but it is a possibility. I've even heard LA. LA, the Sparks aren't trading Rakia or Cam for a 1 year rental. Let's just get that out there. We're going to remove LA from the scenarios, all right? We're also going to just go ahead and take Chicago out of this. I don't think they're going to trade their number 3 pick for a Satou. I think she's also interested in competing for a championship right now. Players leave Chicago. Sorry, Sky fans. Let's just be real. Copper, Mabry, players aren't headed to Chicago right now. They have to clean up before they start inviting company over. So I think they're a season away before they start getting, or at least a season away before they start getting free agents, picking them as the destination. I'll just be real with you. Nor do I think Chicago should trade the number 3 pick for a 1 year rental with some sketchy injury history. Now, I do think New York's a very real possibility. Even though when she was asked if she wanted to play with her sister there, the way she said, yeah, in the future, it didn't seem like it was the first team that was at the front of her mind as they were sitting there. It just didn't.
Would you want to play with your sister?
Yeah, of course. In the future, I would love that.
It seemed like she was open to the possibility. Maybe she's has a great poker face. They're a team that obviously they're the champions, so she'd have a chance to compete. They have pretty much the same core coming back next season. She would have a chance to compete there for a championship, and they have the assets to get it done. They have Leonie Fibic, very valued asset that they got from Chicago in a trade for Oyinweri. She was a second round pick as well. This is why Chicago needs to stop dealing. All right, you already traded away Fibic. Just sit this one out and draft you a player, okay? Um, they also have the number 6 pick, the New York Liberty do. So they can make this happen if they wanted to, and if that's where she wanted to go. The Indiana Fever, as we know, they have Nalissa Smith still on a rookie contract for another season. They have the number 8 overall pick. They have assets as well. The thing here is that she holds all the power. It's not really about who has the best deal for Dallas. It's about who she has on her list because when they core her, she'll essentially have a no trade clause, which team she wants to go with, team or teams, and what's the best deal they can get from those teams on her list. That's all that Dallas can do. That's all. That's all they're working with here. So they don't have a lot of leverage. All right, it's not who has the best package to put together. It's really where she wants to go and what's the best deal they can get from where she wants to go. Now, assuming that Indiana is where she wants to go, I don't think they have to necessarily give up Smith and the number 8 pick to get that done. That's a lot for me. For me, way too much. I wouldn't honestly be willing to do that. I wouldn't, especially when we hear Kelly Krauskopf and the players that she says that she wants.
What elements does this team need to take that next step, and how does free agency enter into the equation?
Yeah, I mean, it's clear that we have two foundational players, probably three. You get two rookies of the year in a row with a front court player in the Leah Boston, Caitlin Clark, and then Kelsey Mitchell. I mean, I think that the veteran leadership that Kelsey was able to provide, we need to help her. We need to add to that. I spent a lot of years just trying to add experienced players around Tamika Catchings because it was really, veterans that have been in the foxhole and have been together. Those are ways that elements of success. It's not a magic bullet. There's not a quick fix, but I do think this team needs a little bit more experience, probably some more size. And if you look at the teams that are in the playoffs right now, they're loaded with players who have been there.
So we heard there she wants players with experience, but not just any experience, not just any veteran, playoff experience as well. And notice that she said players that have been in the foxhole together. There's two free agents I can name who Stephanie White recently coached that have been in the foxhole together. One thing I can tell you about Alyssa Thomas, she's not returning to Connecticut. If we take a look at her comments here about the Connecticut Sun during the playoffs last season and the way they had to share their practice court with the 2-year-old's birthday party, we hear her comments at Unrivaled and how they have things that Connecticut never had. If we look at the recent comments she made while she was at Unrivaled about how they have all the amenities, everything that a player needs, and Connecticut never had any of it, it's clear she's not returning to Connecticut to play next season. So I could see the Fever making a play for her and a play for Bonner before they trade both Melissa and the number 8 pick just for Satou. One or the other, I could see them moving for Satou Sabally on a 1-year rental, not both. Now, ultimately, we could put together 1,000 trade packages, just for the sake of doing so, but it all comes down to where Satou wants to go. And once she lets it be known, if she hasn't let it be known, where she wants to go, whether that's one team or two teams, Dallas is going to have to take the best trade that they can find. So I'm hoping that the Indiana Fever are smart enough. I'm sure that they're smart enough not to give up too much. Obviously, I want her to join Indiana Fever. If they can give up just one or the other, maybe Melissa Smith, maybe the 8th pick, never both. Obviously, we're not looking at trading any assets in 2027. I've seen people even adding 2027 first round picks into some of these equations. No team is trading their 2027 first round draft pick right now. I'm not even going to get into it, but some of you guys are just saying things that makes no sense. It's not happening. It's not happening. All right. So that's all I got on this one. Chicago, stay out of it. You already gave away Phoebich. As for Dallas, they just need to find somebody that wants to be there because apparently Satou doesn't want to be there. I'm hearing rumblings that Paige Beckers, the projected number 1 overall pick, does not want to be there. And so they're going to have a tough go this offseason. Kurt Miller, he inherited a heck of a job trying to figure out how they're going to move forward in the future. If Paige doesn't want to go there, do they end up drafting Olivia Miles? Do they end up drafting Kiki? They have to make their next move the best move. I'm not sure how they'll move forward with the Rike and everything that they have going on there. Maybe they'll just blow it up altogether and just bring in a bunch of youth.